We are, in fact.
Shit, Neil. I gotta go. I just catched a tick.
No way.
Yeah.
Shut the
Yeah.
fick. Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us at the fix, it's already kicking off. Ray got infected with ticks. Have some of that. That's how we roll. Let's have a look. Make sure we are, in fact. There we go, motherfluffers. Nathan's in the house. Then Jones in the house. Stig TP is in the house. Kale is in the house. Cangingham, all 10 foot fucking six of him, is in the house. Hopefully he's catching fish. Yeah, he's got ticks, Roger. How about that, eh?
Yeah, it's the time
Come
of the
tell him about the
season.
tick, Rolly.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, fun. So I will go and take a very big shower afterwards. We went
Ticks
for a
cause
walk around the lake.
Lyme. Is it Lyme disease or am I making that up?
Let me
Disease. We'll call it AIDS. It's not AIDS, but yeah, it's bad though. It's good.
we are live.
The comedy fan just sent me something that somebody's saying, do I need to hide it? No, I don't need to goddamn hide it. There we go. Dennis Smith. All right, mate. How you doing? Third leg's all right. Reasonable. It's quite third leggish today because it's a warm day over here. Yeah. Mate, how's life? Rolly Ray. Been a while.
Mm, Not bad.
You think of my hair? Oh, you see? Get that.
Not bad. Also not bad.
Been a
You
while.
should get it like Neil, get a better camera.
Dude, oh, mate, don't even go there. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, fix exclusive. I've up spec Rolly. I've got a new camera. Don't have to use it, but I'm going to. I've
Cool.
got a new camera. I've got a new laptop. I've got a new microphone. It's called a Rode. Somebody on here told me get this microphone. Is that a Rode? Oh, baby. So I've got this arm thing. Proper professional kit.
Yeah.
Don't know how to use it yet, but I will. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm also changing location. I'm building myself a little studio. So gotta tell you, coming on, Ray. Coming on. Gonna go high tech on this biatch. How about that?
I will believe it when I see it.
Yeah, well, I didn't say that I'm going to be able to do it easy. You know what I mean? As you know, I'm something of a technical penis. And
Mm.
therefore, maybe it might be a little bit harder than I expected to tee it up. But, they're all saying it's the thought that counts, Ray. Have you heard that saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I've invested. Plus, I figured with a little bit of, what would you call it? It's not sort of tech. Yeah, it's not. It's sort of studying in a way. I'd go online. I think if you go onto YouTube, there's probably instructions on how to use all this stuff.
Yes,
And
there is.
so I'm
Apps.
gonna nail
App.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you in a little studio there? I know you've got your green screen.
No, I took it away. I took it away. It's just my
Why?
backdrop, but I have lights set up from all the sides here and see, Neil, you see this? And then
I
it,
don't
it
use
and
light.
then it
No,
goes
brilliant.
away and then it comes back.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
So
It's lighting up one side of your face just to show off that incredibly young look.
yeah, there's one there and just some small things.
I've just got my normal light that's above me now. Just
Yeah, it
starting
shouldn't be
to.
above you because then it there's part of your face that's in shadow and
Yeah,
part of
but
it.
listen, Ray. We've got a different approach to things here.
I
But
agree.
yeah, if I'm you, if I'm in what are you now, like 30 what?
5.
35. You're in your prime years, son. Look at me. Look at my hair for Christ's sake. Look at it. It's basically grey as buggery. Look at that, like.
I
Good old
can't
grey.
wait. I think I will look awesome with gray hair.
I don't know. This is just the thing. So if you don't look awesome when you've got grey hair, it's not good. Not good at all. Tom Holland is going to be joining us soon as well. So let me send that to the machine, Lee Machine. And yeah, if I when I get this specced up, I might lose fans. I'm not gonna lie. Might get on here and people will be like, "Whoa, that's what it looks like." Good lord, terrible. Let's have a look.
Yeah, as soon as you go 4K,
Can you imagine? All my frigging followers will,
they'll be
will
like,
subscribe.
whoa,
Like,
whoa,
well,
whoa.
never knew it was that fat. What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the light that I've got is slimming.
3D stomach.
It is. You
Yeah.
see, you never know. Anything can happen. But just so everybody knows in the chat, trust me, I'm up specking. And yeah, the camera I've got is it's not an expensive camera. It was like 1,100 sterling. So what?
Mhm. It's
It's
pretty
not.
good. It's pretty good.
Hopefully, they told the guy in the shop said, "Oh my God, overspec." It'll be met. He said if you rig that up to your lap, it'll be overspec. I also want to get one of these things, like Ryan Bowen when he got it, and you could tell he just got it. It was like a thing where you hit a button and it shows a different angle. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. So you
Well,
want a full studio, but do you have a room? Like, you should have a room.
well,
You
I'm
can
building it.
get those. What are there? Noise cancellation things. You know that.
Egg boxes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just put them around because that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna do with this room a little later. I'm gonna do like full studio here.
And then you don't even, then you can just go in and sing. You don't have to do a podcast. You can do,
Yeah.
ah, 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 ah.
Bye, bye, bye.
Yeah, that's it. You see, do some more Imagine songs, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen the Imagine song, check out the back catalogue. It's not monetized because if we had done, I'd have been done for stealing somebody's instrumental version of Imagine. We had to just
Probably.
leave it unmonetized. But it's, I mean, it's terrible because it's myself and Eddie Hall, and neither of us can sing. But it's a thought that counts. Holy shit, Jordan Davis is in the chat there. Brings back some memories, Rolly, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, everyone in the chat.
Ivan Kozlik. How's everybody reading the chat tonight? Let us know. Historians in there. Amazing. What the frig has he put there? Start using OBS. It's really nice. What the fuck is OBS?
OBS is a system. I use it when I record videos too, and you can do a lot of things with it. It's a free, let's say, production recording system, either when you record a video or you live stream it or whatever. So I also use it, yeah.
And would I be able to use it, Ray?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Is it easy?
Pretty easy. You just need someone to set it up for you, and then you just click some buttons and it's easy. Yeah. It
Okay.
wouldn't be that hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm historian with a little bit of advice there. Arm historians, the wizard's tits, though. I mean, if you go onto if you're not subscribed to Arm Historian, what the is your problem? Get over there, get subbed. If you're not subscribed to the voice of arm wrestling, Rolly Ray, get over there, get subbed. Listen, you'll get all kinds of information from the voice of arm wrestling. You'll find out how to arm wrestle, number one. You'll also find out an incredible skincare regime. You'll find out how to pull birds of about, how old's Tina? She's what, 25, something
I
like that? Something like that. You'll find out how to pull birds of 25 years old and you look like Rolly Ray. You'll find out how to bench press 200 kilos wearing nothing but a t-shirt. That's the kind of stuff you'll find out on Voice of Arm Wrestling.
I
Plus,
didn't even was wearing I wasn't wearing a t-shirt, to be
what were
honest.
you wearing?
No, nothing.
You didn't have like a bench shirt on, though, did you? No. What's your best bench? 210, is it?
In a gym, 207.5, 207.5.
As you do. Weighing what?
I think 87 kilos.
That's impressive, mate.
Yeah.
But the same weight at 87.
I'm slowly getting there. Like, my shoulder, like, it was fine, I think, up until I pulled Engen. And then afterwards, my shoulder was completely destroyed because it was already on the line. And now it's getting better and better. Now I'm putting on some decent weight again on bench because I haven't been benching for like 2 years.
Did that benefit you in terms of your body weight? Because you dropped significantly, didn't you? You went down to you were around 80 kilos at one point.
Yeah. So like as soon as you start lifting heavy shit, you will have more muscle. Like it's just inevitable.
Bigger, don't you?
As soon as you start doing stuff, like I'm now trying to like also Tina's like you're doing not enough general stuff. So I'm doing more general training, and of course I will have more muscle and I get bigger, but not fatter, which is great. You should
Yeah.
learn a lesson.
Yeah, when I was at university, I used to do a lot of heavy lifting, squats, deadlift, press. But amazingly, when I was squatting, and I wasn't great at squatting either, my hips thickened out.
Of
I'd be
course.
out. So I went up to like 97 kilos from 85 kilos in a 18-month period.
Yeah.
I was just eating like whole chickens and pasta like it was my job. And Jesus, I got big, really
Yeah.
thick. So I stopped doing it.
Someone asked me like not so long ago, like why does arm wrestlers don't train legs? And I said like, well, two reasons. They don't benefit you, and you will gain muscle, and you really can get rid of that muscle.
Well,
As
that's
soon as
the issue, isn't it?
Yeah, because
It's that.
I wasn't squatting, like I wasn't squatting, and I was pulling when I was pulling 75 kilos.
Yeah.
And then I did like few years of like not only deadlifts, but like full on squats and everything. And I gained like 5 kilos that I can never get rid of. So my body weight, I don't remember when it's been lower than, let's say, 79.5 kilos in the
Yeah.
last, years. So as much as I tried, just can't, so.
What's the lightest you've ever been in your 30s?
In my 30s. I
Because
think
because
2000,
30 is mature, isn't it? You know what I mean? When you're
yeah,
30, you're not still naturally growing. I mean, everybody's finished.
I think I was pulling 2000, that's not my 30s, but in 2018 I was pulling 70 kilos. Like I was cutting to 70. It
Jesus.
was terrible. You know the guy that plays I don't remember his name, Peaky Blinders, the main character?
Oh
I
yeah.
was looking like that guy. Yeah.
My wife would tell you straight away.
Yeah, yeah. And
Moving back to what is it? It's killing me that now. Killing Murphy, it's called.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was but I think then I pulled like seven, and all the time as soon as I start training I just couldn't get rid of it. And even when I got lean like 2 years ago, and then I did the big fast and everything, it was 80, still 80. Like I was walking around like 81, and I couldn't, like, with water weight I could maybe drop to 77. So I think if I lose all this stupid fat, I probably could make 77 with a water cut, but I couldn't be walking around with that, you know.
Yeah. The lightest I was in my 30s was probably like 76 kilograms. That was and I was 8 pack abs, like lean,
Yeah.
looked like a walking hard on. Not really, but really good shape at that time.
God damn.
Far from the man you're looking at right now,
Mm.
part seal.
Listen, Tina's been calling me fat like every day, so I had to,
Stella,
I
Tina, you
had
know
to.
what that is. I know a guy. You've never been fat. You don't understand fat like I understand fat. Yeah. You don't think, where's the TV remote gone? I need to move a tit to find it. That's the kind of. Here we go. Look at this. Tuma, thanks, mate. He's just put Neil. That's called obesity. Thanks, pal. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Say hello to your mum when you see her. Harium, no top roll, which is a different name.
Deal, you went to doctor and doctor said you're a beast. No, no, no. He said you're obese.
Yes. No eye roll, son.
You were
So
like,
you got a bit of love here, Ray. Harium no top roll said, "Who is this teen with you?"
hmm.
That's Rolly Ray. It's the original Fixed Crew member, Rolly Ray. Hey, while we're talking of original Fixed Crew members, the White Hawk gets another shot at Dave of David
Yeah,
Samosha, but it's
yeah.
not at 85
No, no,
kilos.
no. It was I was a little confused, and I thought, because I think Robert said it on East versus West 17 when
Yeah,
he stayed,
but
and it kind of got confusing. But
way
yeah,
better match.
yeah, 95, great match, great match.
Way better. Who've you got?
Man, at this point, it's hard to bet against Samushi, to be honest. It's
Got
hard
mega
to bet
stamina.
against Samushi, but I think it could be same war it was before, and I
Mm.
think it's gonna be very hard to deal with Paul. And
Who do you think will have learnt most?
man, I don't know.
It's hard, that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because one thing, oh, here we go. Willie McWillie. How come Ryan Bowen's nicked Coach Ray's job? He has not nicked Coach Ray's job. It's not happened, guys. It's not happened. So let's have
yes.
a look here.
Anyway, guys, subscribe to my OnlyFans. There's just few options left
Only
for me in the
fans.
world of arm wrestling. Sorry, only forearms. Subscribe.
Yeah, you'll get
Yeah,
a
some for some extended scenes.
Cats' arseholes. You've got it. Yeah. Yeah. The Drew 24's just put show Tina a picture of Neil and she'll apologise. She will. Then she'll realise what fat really is. She'll go, oh my God, you're not fat like a real man, Ray.
None of that like a real man. Yeah.
Oh, mate, let's have a look here. Dino3343 in the chat. Thank you very much for a super chat, mates. But I was 150. Shut up. You were 158 kilograms. You were 158 kilos and you're now at 86.
That's impressive.
That is. How tall are you, mate? Just send us a. That's mega going if that's true. Benji Mac, Fire Drake, love that. Harim No Top Rolls back in here for you, Ray. He's put, Ray, do you incorporate Minder exercises now in your training?
Yes, I do.
So just to let people know, if you haven't seen it, on the Odyssey that Rolly Ray does, he went over to train with the goat, Rolly Ray Lipinge, and Minder Sterasatis in one place at one time, ladies. It's right, it's real. And when he got over there, he realised that not only is Mindaugas truly a bigger than he could possibly imagine, he also trains like a.
It is true.
Hmm.
It's so comments people thought where he is trolling. People really thought he's trolling.
What on his
And
training technique?
yeah, and even Tina was like, we're in the gym, and I said, like, listen, we're not gonna do what I want. Like, show me what you would show. And he was like jams and things like that. And she's like, really? Really? And I'm like, yeah. And I think I will do a video where I explain the things that he's doing, which in my opinion, some things are extremely genius, like extremely genius. And
He's a
all they
very
take
intelligent lad, isn't he?
a lot of lot of patience, and he does do a lot of workload. Like it's insane amount of work. Then you when you put it all together, you just see it like we're used to. You go to gym and you train in a gym,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 hours, whatever, and then you go home. Minda will be like small things throughout the day, sometimes more, sometimes less, and he is insane. Like he's insane,
So wait a
insanely
minute, is he
strong.
working from home?
Only on Fridays.
Okay.
No, yeah, but the rest of the days he goes to work and he has a gym, and we're during like a lunch break. He will go have a shake of 10 raw eggs, and then he will do light training. What he says.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be sat in his office in the afternoon after he's had his 10 rags. Yeah, you can have that. Terrible. So Dino3343's come back and put, yes, I was fat. 180 centimeters maybe tall. What is that in real? What is that? 180 centimeters. Is that like 5'9", 5'10"? Let's have a look. 180 centimeters in feet and inches.
5'10", I think.
Yeah, well, yeah. 5 foot 10.8, so you call it 5'11.
Yeah.
So yeah. Uh, Mate, I'm impressed, Dino. That's some massive weight loss right there, son. Good for you.
That's a massive commitment. It's
Yeah, it
probably
really is.
very good for your health.
And I'm
Should take
assuming
notes,
you did
Neil.
that with a combination of diet and also cardio. But anyway, so let's get into this, as it is, in fact, an arm wrestling show, roll is.
Cardio is a French word that Neil doesn't take in his
Oh,
mouth.
listen, I don't know what that even is. My idea of a marathon, ladies and gentlemen, is 9 pints and a chicken vindaloo. I
Oh.
don't need no. No,
Yeah,
actually, mate, it's not true. I've been for runs in my life. Mhm.
I know. I remember when we went to dinner, though, lunch, you just ran from from the hotel. You just ran there, and
Yeah, it's like
then
nearly
you
had a
ordered
cardiac.
2 zero Cokes, and I was like,
Yeah.
that checks out.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Western Survivor beef jerky in the house.
Mm.
One of the original guys. Western Survivor
Oh.
beef jerky. Great beef jerky.
Listen, when I was in Canada, I was looking for it. In USA, I was also looking for it. I was like, where can I get this? And then I got like whatever, what was the generic version.
Oh,
Like
yeah. Not
This is not the
Chinese.
same. It's not the same. It's not the same. Yeah. Western Survivor. It's such a good
The
memories.
original Western Survivor, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you want. So, dude, we haven't spoken on a podcast since the big match, I don't think. Since the match between Giannis and Mindaugas.
Did
Was that
not
one?
disappoint, huh? Did not disappoint at all.
Mate, what a match.
What a match.
What
Yeah.
a match. That
Yeah.
was one of my favourite matches in the history of East versus West. And I mean that.
Yeah.
It was immense.
It
Um,
was insane.
oh, did
I
you
thought
expect that was going to
I
happen? Like
I
that?
kind of expected because I talked with both of them and I have pulled both of them and I said like Minde, I thought like I pulled with Minde and he's so confident on the inside that he sometimes gives up the hand, so he
Mhm.
doesn't fight for it, and Giannis will get the hand.
Yeah.
And I thought, and I said to Giannis, I said like, but Minde's power without the hand is insane. And it kind of went the story. I just thought as soon as Giannis secured the hand and position, he will not lose, but he did. And that kind of surprised me because Minde was like, he was like, right? You can see it like he was gasping hard and still was going at it. Like great match. If
A
I
critical
would
round, and I want to say it was,
round
I
three,
want to say third round, the round three where he got. I said it in the commentary. There was a critical failure in Giannis's arm.
yeah, yeah. Giannis thought he was baiting him and
Gassed himself out.
yeah, but he gassed himself out like
Yes.
really hard.
Had he gone nuts at that point, probably could have won.
I think so too. I think if he would just gone and finished and done.
Yeah, probably could have won. But we've all been there, and in that situation, I probably would have done the same thing because you get there and you think, all right, I'm going to put this to bed now. I'm going to bleed him, and then the next thing you come up and it's like, what the you know.
Yeah,
But an amazing match,
great
by
match.
far the best match on the card.
Uh, by far, by far. I would say so. If someone would ask me, can you show me some great arm wrestling matches?
Hmm.
Like my top three picks would be me versus Tom, Minde versus Daniel, and Minde versus Giannis.
Yeah.
And I say like this is the like you will fall in love in arm wrestling just watching this.
They were unbelievable. I really enjoyed Mendegas versus Tom Holland also in the Dark Card 4. That was another friggin' screaming match. Yourself and Tom's one of my favourite matches in the history of arm wrestling. Period.
Yeah, those are my top three. Those are my
Oh,
top
damn,
three.
that was a match.
There's great matches, but I think if you show like for a newcomer, just watch this. Just watch this, right?
Yeah.
The comeback is great. The arm wrestling is great. The how much it takes out of both guys, it's also great. So I'll like there's some great matches. That was one of the greatest matches of all time, in my opinion. Like it's right there.
I would
And
love to know from the chat also, guys. Please let me know because I haven't had a chance to really speak to you guys about that match properly since it went down. I'd love to know how many of you got that right and how many of you got it wrong. I actually did have Mindaugas picked narrowly, thought it was going to be a 45-55 job, and it turned out to be super tight.
yeah,
Did not, however, see it in my head like that.
yeah. I had Giannis picked. But just on a case that Giannis doesn't lose. Like if Giannis really wants to win, he will win. But I also didn't expect it to end like this. And I also thought it's gonna be super close. Like Minde felt incredibly strong when I pulled him. Like ridiculous, like ridiculous. And you know this. And
Oh
people
yeah, he's mega.
people still don't get it. People still don't get it. But I
No, he's
think
mega. I tell people people think yeah, we have some fun with Mindaugas, but when I say Mindaugas is mega, people think I'm joking, and
yeah,
I'm not joking. He's
no,
mega,
he's
mega strong.
he's one of the most impressive arm wrestlers I have ever met.
Mm.
By
Dude's a
many metrics. And I think it's his mindset, it's all the things. And sometimes I feel like he's sometimes too full of himself that he can't like things he said on the press conference, right? And
oh yeah,
listen, Giannis didn't catch that one where Minda said that at this stage of Giannis' life he likes to get by a man. And I was like, and Giannis didn't catch that. And I was like,
yeah.
and then,
Mindaugas had a lot of stuff worked out that he was going to throw down, didn't do. And I thought to myself, he's definitely feeling it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, he's full of himself. I mean, when he's on, he's more full of himself than a Russian doll.
Done. Yeah. Yeah.
But he was feeling the pressure. There is no doubt. Everybody coming into that when we were walking around the hotel, I would say 70 to 80% of people had Yanis that I met. I'm
Hmm.
talking people, how you're just walking around the hotel and people, oh yeah, what match are you looking forward to? Most people, it was their primary match on the card for them in
Yeah.
terms of what they thought would be a banger.
I
And
think everyone who knew who arm
Yanis.
wrestling, they knew this is gonna be like everyone was so excited for that match,
Do you know what my aspiration was for that though, mate? I wanted it to sort of be the launch of the lightweight thing because we tried to do it in Arm Wars, as you know, 10 times. Gods were against us.
Yeah.
WL, same deal.
Listen, imagine this.
Morbid.
Like, this is a proof that if you have like Minda and Giannis, they have like Giannis because it was farm wrestling and everything else. People see him all the time. They know about him. They understand him, right? Same with Mindaugas.
Mhm.
So we have built these characters. We have built these arm wrestlers that people know. So they are very exciting when both of them meet. If one of them meets someone less known arm wrestler, it's not that interesting. But because of this, and we both are great, we kind of, I think, prove that lightweights can be the main event. If that would be
Well,
put in place of John Brzenk and Yoshi,
yeah.
everyone would talk how great the event was because that's the end of it, right?
But
But
look at this that's
of
coming
course,
now, mate.
yeah,
Look at this that's coming now. So, number one, in fact, before we get on to that, would you like to see a rematch of that?
absolutely,
Fucking hell.
absolutely,
Like immediately. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I could watch that match,
yeah,
five on the bounce, and I wouldn't be surprised if you ended up with a different result. I really wouldn't.
yeah,
Now, you look at what's coming now, amazing card being put together for the King of the Table 14 show. And on that match, there is a lightweight banger. Absolute phenomenal. Makarov and my
Prokopchuk.
favourite, old Prokopchuk. I say my favourite. I will I will be betting on and backing Daniel, and I do want Daniel to win that match. Nothing against Arthur. I'm just a massive Daniel fan. But to pick up on a point that
Okay.
you were just making there, which I couldn't agree with more, that match is a main event any day of the week and twice on a Sunday, right? But because of the fact that to the commercial world, North America, UK, you do not get the same back and forth because neither of those men. I mean, I don't think Makarov speaks any English. Certainly Daniel, not really at all. Little bit,
No, no,
But I think Daniel speaks more than Arthur Makarov. So you don't get any of it.
yeah.
You don't get any of the back and forth. You don't get any of the
And
mouth.
they're also not gonna be because they both are not those guys, right?
No.
They're no, Magaro is super nice, and same with Daniel can sometimes he will kind of say something, but he's still too nice. And even then, like it's yeah, you will not get anything even similar. The match could kill. The match could be better
No.
match than Giannis and Minda, but you will not get like Minda is one of a kind. And then he gets paired with Giannis, who also can say some crazy things from time to time, in my opinion.
But they kind of get overlooked. You know what I mean? Like if you look at some of the matches on the cards, I mean, we're spoilt right now with the East versus Western because every card is a frigging banger. But a lot of the matches like that get overlooked. People are like, they don't really understand the gravitas of that match. They don't understand the levels in that match. I mean, if you got hold of Daniel Prokopchuk and felt how strong that kid is, it is ridiculous. His joint strength is off the scale, you know. And
Yeah,
Makarov might beat him in that environment. So, stupid.
amazing, amazing. That's a great point.
But the lightweight era, hopefully at some point it starts to really crack. You start to get to a situation where people understand the level within the lightweights is stupid and middleweights.
I think it's like It's been what you've been saying for years. It's building characters and telling stories.
Gotta
It's
be, mate.
this is the only way we can do this. I think there's no other way. If no one knows about you, no one gives a F about you, right? But as
Yeah.
soon as some people like relate to you, they care about you, so they care about your wins and losses. And that's all we need to do, right? And we need to build those characters. We need to show them. I think we're on the right path, but there should be more, right? I'm trying to do it with Arm Wrestling Odyssey. Uh, we'll see if that works out. It's not doing so great as I thought it's going to be. I thought more
Mate,
people.
it may take time, Ray, also,
Of course. Yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah.
take time. But it can't hurt it. It can only work. It's just the amount of immediate notice might be a little bit difficult to realize. But you give it 5 years, it'll have made a big difference because people do give a toss about characters. They do give a toss about. They only get invested in an arm wrestler that they know.
Yes. This is why Devon is so big
Fact.
because it's Devon, just because it's Devon.
So many arm wrestlers don't move the dial at all.
No,
I
no,
am going to get to your
no.
super chat in a minute, mate, as well. But
Yeah.
so many guys don't move the dial. Just give us a show in the comments, guys, whether you'd prefer to see people arm wrestle when you know a little bit about them from their character perspective, their background.
But that's the only way you care, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like if I go to a tournament, if I know one guy, that's the only guy I'm carrying in that tournament. I could that could be great matches, but I don't care. I think it's with everything you want to relate to someone. So either you want to see someone win or someone lose, right? It's two things. Both things are great in my opinion, right? But you kind of have to figure out a way to show it because not everyone is a good talker, not everyone is, but there is like everyone is human, right? Humans relate to humans. This is why I wanted to show those stories because sometimes we are in competition, but tell a story when it's outside of competition. Maybe someone be like listen, like I play tennis on my free time, and someone be like, oh, I play tennis too, he's just like me. And maybe now we have something in like these small things. I think the Odyssey we did with Minde and that I showed all those videos before the match came out probably helped him a lot.
Oh
Like
yeah.
upped his level of interest. And all the videos, like it started not with great views, and
Mhm.
then it kind of got a lot of views, in my opinion, from all the small videos. Devon, I expected it because it's Devon, but with Minde, it's I didn't expect it and it did better than I did.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you see, if you took a person like Kira Gali, right? So I met a guy. In fact, I met a guy and his son while we were over in Arlington. Sorry if you're watching this, guys. I can't remember the bloody lad's name. Oh, fucking. Can't remember his name. But I was speaking to him. You know who you are, guys. I was speaking to you and your son in the bar at the hotel, right? And we're speaking about Matt Mask. And they're going on about Matt Mask and how good Matt Mask is, and that Matt's, one of the main guys on the card for them because he's electric and exciting, all like this. And we were talking about Kuragali. And they
Mm,
said, Kuragali, great arm wrestler. But the problem is, know nothing about him, and he doesn't, not shit talk, but he doesn't project at all.
nothing. He projects
Like,
nothing.
and
No.
it's
Yeah.
travesty,
Yes.
absolute travesty, because that kid can wrestle his
Yeah.
balls off. He can pull, seriously pull, but nobody gives a shit because he doesn't project himself. And there's a cultural line there, a respect line, which is such a shame that either the modern world is only into the Conor McGregor approach, or there's got to be some reason to buy. But if you could just get into, if you went to, like you say, with the Odyssey was over at bloody Kiragalli's place, you're following Kiragalli around. People understand Kiragalli what he does. What's the sport he does where you ride with the goat and the I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
remember
Yeah. Yeah. Something. I don't
this
know.
kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think arm wrestlers need to get it. I think they need to get it. Not now. Now everyone is treated, in my opinion, fair, but they're not gonna be. If we grow bigger, the bigger stars gonna go away, and they're gonna run away from everyone else.
Yeah,
because
it's like
whoever
UFC.
sells the pay-per-view that moves the needle, that's the thing that people are interested in. And
100%.
if you don't put the justice, if you don't do like, I thought pre-match interviews, post-match interviews were very important just
Mm.
to talk, because then you can show the character and everything. All the small things you don't need to like, you don't need to do a lot, but you need to do something, in my opinion. You just need to do something. People need to know, who the hell are you? Like I think Camille, because he's a little goofy, is so great.
Hmm.
Like,
He
and
could
there's,
big up on that, couldn't he? He
yeah,
could like lean into it
he lean into it. Whoever you are, lean into it.
big
Like
time.
if you're a
I'm
brash guy like Minde, really, like if you sit and talk with him, he will say some outlandish things. You'll be like, he really is. And we kind of pushed him, and he just lean into it. And he's just that guy.
Yeah,
Giannis is no bullshit guy. Giannis will say what he thinks. He just lean into
very,
it.
very straight laced, Giannis.
Yeah,
Extremely professional, extremely straight laced.
yeah.
Um, harder to market that for sure.
Harder to market that. Yeah, yeah,
Definitely harder to market that. You the guy that's prepared to take a risk, by far the easiest marketing angle, by far.
absolutely. Yeah,
And there's not many of them, mate. I mean,
yeah.
people. I mean, when Devon takes a great deal of abuse, doesn't he, from some people? But it takes some balls to do it. It
Oh, that
takes.
like Devin, the thing is like, you have to have some balls to talk like Devin does. And you do have to be very, very confident about your abilities and what happens if you don't deliver, right? Because everyone loses. Like it's any sport. Everyone loses. Things gonna happen to you. But how do you deal with them and you move forward? I really like Michael Todd lost to Hermes, doesn't matter, still on a mission. Boom, boom, boom. People got
The
behind
day
it.
after, I was on the plane with Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
All we talked about on the flight back
Yeah.
was how the does he get a shot with Levant? Literally, that's immediately.
Yeah.
Talking the next morning,
Yeah.
he was looking for that match. So yeah, you can only take your hat off to that. You can,
Yeah.
and we'll come back on that. So Dino 3343. But the big bones from being fat help you in arm wrestling. And when I saw that I was hiding under all that fat, people get in shape, it's unbelievable, mate. If you've gone from that kind of weight to 86 kilos, you have done extraordinarily well. That's like world class weight loss. That's ridiculous. Luke Pulsher just sent you a link actually, mate. Also, Luke, how we doing, fellas? Not just in chat, actor, but about their real lives. What does that mean? Character. There we go. There was a gap in there. So, not just about the character, but about their real lives. It's the key to real growth, mate. Without question, Luke.
Yeah.
Without question. I mean, look at Paddy the Baddy last night in the UFC. Guy's just put himself out there. Is he the most talented guy in the world? No. Is he getting mega paydays because he's put himself out there? Hell yes.
And
Hell.
it's just gonna happen more. And also in arm wrestling, and arm wrestlers need to understand it. So whoever you are, just lean into whoever you are. That just is. And some people will relate, some people won't relate. I also think like a lot of times arm wrestlers, it sucks when you lose. It sucks when you lose and you have to
Yeah.
go there and do an interview. And in that interview, you can be many different things. You can be a complete dick and say you got screwed and that guy is shit and whatever. And some people will be like, watch the match and they're like, he's true, and some will be like, such an asshole. I hope he loses all the time. Still, they're gonna pay attention. Or you
How
could
many
be,
dial movers are there, Ray? No.
no,
In arm wrestling, how many? For
no.
real? No bullshit. How many Devon dial mover? Yeah. How many dial movers are there? You tell. Yeah, how many do you reckon? Proper dial mover.
I think Hermes. He's out there and he really works on it in my opinion. Davin is without, I do think Levin, because of mystical force he is, and people do like him when he speaks and whatever, could be more, right? Uh there could be some
Does it
other guys
matter
like,
who they're facing?
depends on who they're facing. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think like more people they like, they also like when other armisters give him props. And I think like Kid Rigali got a lot of props from all the other armisters. That's why people were very interested, even when he didn't speak. Somehow with Samushi, it hasn't catched on. I think Samushi could be one of the biggest stars in arm wrestling if he would just be a little bit him. Just
Can you speak to Daffy? Do you
he
understand him?
speaks a little Russian. He speaks a little Russian, yeah. So
What's he like as a character? Because he seems very warm, very
he's
endearing.
very, very cool guy, very warm, very like fun guy. Nothing, just. But sometimes it's like he can't really express himself, and just something. And I said like, but he should be crazy. He should just lean into it. Like he's the greatest East versus West champion we have seen. I would love if he comes like fully like a pimp, like smoke cigar, whatever. Like it would be a big moment. He would become a star like this because he can lean into whatever he says. He would like every time I said listen, can you even lose? And he'd be like, yeah, no, no. If he would say like, I can't lose. I don't see myself losing. That would be a great line. Never said it, like he could
Hmm.
lean into anything because he's so great. Hey, Luke.
Hey,
Hey,
Luke.
buddy.
Well, so Luke, I know you were. I don't know whether you've caught the last sort of 5 minutes as you were getting in here, but we're talking about dial movers because if you look at the King of the Table 14 card is coming out now, right? And every day I'm seeing matches come out. Engin's putting them out, and there are some absolute monster matches, ridiculous matches. We started on the lightweight tip, and we're talking about the match that for me is as good as it gets in lightweight. Makarov is, if he's not the best, it's either him or Alan Zulayev is the man in Russia. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody could argue with that. What?
Picasso.
What do you think he could beat those two
He has them, but like they all pull tournaments. They have pulled tournaments. And he last time I think he beat them in tournaments. He beat Makaro.
in a tournament?
Yeah, in A1, not A1, AMC.
Okay.
Um, but if they would pull super matches, probably it's different when you're fresh to fresh. Like
Who
we
would you
remember when
say?
Cherkassov pulled Minde.
Yeah,
I
Minder, and then
mean,
and obviously Makarov. Then you know,
yeah,
and Minder had beaten Daniel.
yeah. It's the cursed circle, in my opinion.
Yeah, but if you look at that match, my argument would be that you couldn't you couldn't really argue that there is a better or higher level match at lightweight possible than that. It's right there in terms of level. You know what I mean? You're talking right, elite level. That is friggin' pinnacle stuff. And yet the two guys I wish we knew more about, and I think it'd be great if we knew more about, because Daniel, for example, fascinating dude. Surgeon, incredibly smart lad, absolute technical monster. So much good stuff about him. But people don't know. They don't know his character. I can't speak to him for more than, a few sentences. And I wanted to find out, and this is a question for the chat and for yourself, Luke and Rowley. How many complete dial movers do you think there are in the sport? I don't know that much about Levan. I know Levan. I've met Levan. I meet Levan but I don't know a lot
Everyone knows
about him.
more about Ryan Bowen than Levon.
You do. I
Yeah.
would I would like to know more about Levan's background, life, general day to day. You know what I mean?
I
And
think
he's a guy.
they on the line when we were in Tbilisi, I think they filmed whole documentary there about him, Irakli, but I don't think they have pieced it together because they're probably busy with it.
I mean, when we went to Tbilisi, right,
Mhm.
and we're coming away from the restaurant, and bloody Irakli dives in that BMW M series and goes sliding off down, and people are like, "Oh yeah, he's a drift racer. He does drifting." Does he? Who knew? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is
Well,
stuff.
what do you think? What do you think? Give some names in your opinion. Let's say
Dial movers.
this guy would say I would sell the whole pay-per-view by himself.
Boy, right now I don't. If you're talking about who can really sell an entire pay-per-view on their own, I think there's very, very few of those people out there right now.
Who do
I
you think? Can you name five or not?
oh I no, I think you named Devin, Michael, Todd, depending on who he's pulling, if it's really interesting. But Mike, just on his own, I don't think has that much draw yet. Um, I think I think Mindy's getting closer, especially after his match with Giannis, and the stuff that Ray's put out on the Arm Wrestling Odyssey. Um, for an arm wrestler, I as an arm wrestler watching arm wrestling, I can pick several.
Yeah,
But as a fan of arm wrestling, not an arm wrestler, there's just not that many yet. And I was gonna say I think that's where we're still missing the mark. And not to criticize the matches that are getting put together, because the matches are amazing matches. There's
Yeah.
no doubt. Absolutely. But I think we're missing an opportunity to put lesser known, maybe even lesser quality arm wrestlers on the stage that would still be outstanding matches that have good character, get to know them over time, and watch them rise to the
watch
top of
them
the
grow.
top.
Yeah,
Watch them grow, because of my biggest fear right now with the direction of East versus West is we seem to be getting closer and closer to where we're going to start recycling matches. And outside of COVID, that's what killed WAL, in my opinion, was even the arm wrestlers got tired of watching the same guys arm wrestle each other with WAL. It was a small group, a much smaller group of competitors than what East versus West is, obviously. But we're not East versus West is not doing a good job yet of bringing in the lesser known, maybe not quite elite level arm wrestler and introducing them to the world. And I think there's a
Then,
ton of
no,
opportunity.
mate, I'm going to say, even then, there are a sprinkling of guys that knowingly and willingly step into the light. I don't mean to be a dick. I don't mean like, will uh, shit talk people, create controversy. Not that. Just make a show. Guys that have a hook, an angle, a thing, something. Not many. Not many. Whether they're well known, not well known. I'm a massive fan of what Engin's doing from a matchmaking perspective. I think you can't not. Uh, the matches are frigging phenomenal. Andy is coming.
Amazing.
His knowledge of the thing is first class, as good as it gets, and he's pinging out his job. He's doing extremely well. The matchmaking's mega. I think it's up to the arm wrestlers themselves to project a bit, to take a risk, to go in there and just chuck in some, tell us about yourselves. So many guys are happy to just go, pull, be super respectful, be quiet,
yeah.
reserved. Like Rolly was saying, you got to go a bit,
Yeah,
project.
but it also takes two to tango, right? It's very hard if you pit someone against someone nice and someone has a little bit. When there's a little bit like this, those are the matches that I'm really interested. And like Min and Giannis was great on many different levels for many different because there's a real rivalry between them. Like,
Yeah, and it's
and
and it's been developing.
for a long time, you've been trying to set that match for 5 years. England been trying to set that match. Everyone has been trying. And then the conclusion and everything was as great as we could expected it, right? Um, I think we need that if there's rivalries. We need guys to really understand sometimes they need to push, they need to be more confident. Just be more confident. Like you wouldn't pull if you wouldn't be confident. Every arm wrestler I know is really confident.
Hmm.
Most arm wrestlers are really like and we have an ego. But for some reason, when it comes to stage, you're like, like, I hope we're friends and whatever. Shut the hell up. Just say
Yeah.
you're confident. Say I'm gonna beat you. I don't see myself losing. What are you asking from me? Like, and and I just don't get those things. Because if you talk with any arm wrestler, they will go, they will pull, and let's say someone will blast them like this. They go off stage and they'll be like, I felt it. I felt it. Goes home, thinks like I almost beat him. That's the mindset. Yet we don't see it on the stage when we need it.
Mm.
So to Rolly's point, I pulled the tournament the night before East versus West, and I got to pull Dan Mosier. And we all know Dan Mosier is a force, especially his go. I mean, it's probably one of the things that hurts him in main stage super match arm wrestling is he's not necessarily exciting to watch when he just blows somebody to the pad 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I wanted to know in that match, is there any opportunity, is there any direction that I can slow that match and make it a match with Dan? And in that match, there was a catch. I didn't quite get my angle right, but I left just exactly like Rolly said. There's a spot. There's a spot I'm in a match with Dan. I'm not saying I go and kick Dan Mosier's ass tomorrow, but there's a spot, and I can't wait to see him on the table again.
See,
Because there
that's
was
the
a
mindset of
spot.
arm wrestlers. All of us think like this. As soon as you I missed, but then we don't project it. And I think every high level arm wrestler really, they're very successful. They have an arm wrestling a lot. They have a lot of these things inside of them. This is like Amos is super confident. Most of the guys are extremely confident, and no one talks about it. And just like the only thing, if you're confident about yourself, people be like, yeah, he's like, if you lost, I felt I'm gonna win. Like there's many different things you can say to be a guy that people really want to see you pull. And if you're a
I think
superstar and a great puller already, sorry.
yeah, I think part of what you're looking for, Neil, it has to come from both sides. The arm wrestler has to be willing to go there, but it has to be an expectation from the other side as well. So, I am not known for being loud and boisterous and mouthy or anything like that. I talk a little on the table. My smack talk is relatively polite. But if you told me, hey, we're going to have you at Arm Wars, this is who you're going to be pulling, I need A, B, and C from you. Now, as long as one of those isn't so far out of the reality of who I am, right? I mean, just so far from who I am naturally, but you want a video of me doing some training. You want some video of me doing some blacksmithing. You want some video of me shooting. You want some video of me in my natural habitat so that you can put that together to start to paint the picture of who Luke Pulcher is. And that's my expectation from you as being part of Arm Wars. There's zero doubt that you're going to have it before the deadline that you tell me to have it to you. But I don't think most promotions do that very well. I don't think they really line out the expectation and then hold the arm wrestler accountable. It's like we just did this little private event in Salt Lake. Bob Brown put together the Underground. It was 8 guys, everywhere from, some sleepers in Surrey and Wallace Dilly, who ended up winning it, to some big names like Ron Bath and Marcio. They all did a about me video ahead of time. They did all of that stuff that was expected of it. And Bob kept getting asked questions like, how did you get them to do this? I told him if they didn't do it, they weren't getting paid. Amazingly, they all did it, right? So I think you've got to find there's going to be arm wrestlers that just don't do it, right? They just don't hold up their end of the deal. Well, I guess they don't get to come back. But the promotion also has to let them know what's expected of them on that aspect too. If Ray was going to come to my house and do a arm wrestling odyssey with me, I would be asking Ray weeks in advance of him getting here, what do you want to see? What do you want to do? What are we trying to show? So that I'm ready to make sure that what Ray's coming to do
guys,
works.
right?
Yeah.
Say that again.
So here's the thing. From my perspective, let's say it was Arm Wars. From my perspective, if it's not really you, there's no interest in it at all.
Agreed.
It's got to be really you because fake's nonsense. It just doesn't work. It's got to be really you, whoever that is. But the thing is, there are guys out there that are inventive.
But you can prepare.
Yes,
You can prepare.
with an angle, like people think.
Yeah,
You know
you
the
can
hail
write
raiser
things down, what I'm going to talk about, what should be like, because sometimes in the moment you have cameras and you lose your thought, right?
Yes.
You can prepare.
Jeff Hale, people thought I said to Jeff, "Oh, come and do it." No, I didn't. Never.
That's Jeff.
Jeff
That's
showed
just
up and
Jeff.
did that.
Yeah.
Jeff
But I
showed
think there's too many
did that.
arm wrestlers that think that they need to be Jeff Hale, and they're just not. So they don't try at all. They don't know what to do. They're like, oh well, I can't be Jeff Hale. I can't do that. That's not my personality at all. So I'm just not going to be interesting to the fan. So I'm out. And I think that's a huge mistake. And that's where people like you and Engen and stuff, you have that knowledge and that relationship to help somebody like me who's not a Jeff Hale understand that no, if they knew this about you like I do, they'd find you interesting. And I know that because I find you interesting.
And if you've got a natural character trait, let's take Engin Terzi, right? Engin, incredibly aggressive. I'm talking prime Engin here. Incredibly aggressive, incredibly intense character at the table. If you've got something like that, which is a massive character trait, and you just lean into that and go for it, which he never had to do, he would do that. You got a huge head start. Now, some people do have that character trait, but suppress it. That's what's odd to me. If you've got Matt Mask is an example of a guy that just does Matt Mask. Because if you know Matt was like that when there was no cameras. That's Matt. You with me? So the guys that have just got a natural character set and suppress it, that's odd. I mean, in Arm Wars, we've had guys like Mika Sakwaralidze, the Heat Seeker. Amazing dude. Amazing dude. Just amazing. It's absolute character. Didn't have to try. Didn't have to put on air. There's no falseness. There's no bravado. That's Mika. And then you'll go to his place and, we were at Ed Bedrosian's place in Malibu, and suddenly Mika rolls up, sits down at the piano, and, he's basically a classical pianist as well as a tennis pro. And, ridiculous. Now, if you've got something about you, like, say, Hunter Knopfs, let's go.
Hey, listen, I had this message from Ryan Bellinger, just an idea what you guys think. So he said, how about I come with Armwrestling Odyssey to South Carolina and just spend a few days with one guy, then go down and go with Adam, go with Hunter, go with him, maybe get some. I think that would be like, right, you could get the whole team because the team is mega.
Dude, get it done. Let's go.
Okay.
I mean, what? Yes. Absolutely yes. It's just show all the guys that are watching this so many times. I get guys that are saying, "Oh, how do I get a shot? How do I get a shot? How do I get involved?" This is how you make yourself a dial mover. You will get invited. I don't care who it is. You'll get invited. Engin, Robert, Dexter. Of course, they're looking for dial movers. From my perspective, I'd be looking for dial movers. Name me a promoter out there that doesn't want dial movers. My God. And these guys that want to be on the cards, and girls that want to be on the cards, make yourself a dial mover. The girls the same. Make yourself a dial mover. Make yourself the unique entity. Make yourself Ronda Rousey. Make yourself the game changer. Doesn't have to be something ridiculous. Doesn't have to be out of your character. Lean into your character, but show them who you are and go, let's go. And the amount of times I've said this on shows is sickening. Tons, and yet so few. And it really hit home watching the matches come out. I was on the phone to Engin the other day. I said to him, have you got the full card yet? So we could talk about it on the fix. And he didn't. He said, no, but I'm going to be announcing it in the next few days. And one after the other, you see the matches start to come out. And I'm like, well, that's a banger. Okay, yeah, that's a banger. That's a banger. Match after match after match. Killers. But I wonder whether whether the card will sell well or whether people don't understand it. Because if you're going from a purist arm wrestling perspective, holy Christ, that's a good card.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Sure.
10 out of 10. Mega.
Yeah. And we haven't seen all the matches, right? I think there's still some more coming.
I mean, new go Matt Mask. What's not to like? I mean, my God. Main event on anybody's scorecard. Makarov Daniel. Mega. Absolutely mega. Of course, Devon's not on this card. So some people, for some people,
Mike.
yeah, I mean,
right,
ridiculous. The depth of the card, the number of matches on the card, just stupid beyond belief. Just incredible. And I wonder how many people will get it. How many will it be a big dial mover? If it isn't, what a goddamn shame. What a shame. Because you couldn't get a better frigging. If that was a UFC card, people would be going, oh my God. It's ridiculous. The amount of amazing matches off the frigging charts. As good as it gets. Better
Neil,
than any.
I have to apologize. I have to leave. It's past midnight and I have to get very, very early up.
No worries,
Also,
mate. We're only going to be
shower because I think I'm full of ticks now.
Dude, get your ass there.
Yeah. Okay, Luke. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, Neil.
Yeah,
bye, guys.
I'll reach out to you later this week, or I need to visit with you about a few things.
Let's go. Let's go. Stay strong, love arm wrestling, guys. Bye.
So we're only going to go for another 5 minutes or so, guys. Just a quick one back, and I'll be checking in on a couple of shows with everyone this week anyway. But yeah, let me know, guys. As I said earlier on, and let myself and Luke see in the comments now, how many guys and what names are you buying pay-per-views to see? Let us know. Who are you tuning in to watch, guys? Take Devon out of the equation, because we know, yeah, Devon's a down mover, big time. We get it. Who else? Who are the guys? Let us know, chat. Let us know who are you guys.
So I've got a question for you, Neil. When you talk about dial movers,
yeah,
and potentially putting a dial mover in the wrong match, does it hurt them? And the example I would use would be Hunter, who is an absolute dial mover.
Mm-hmm.
Left-handed against Mindy was a terrible match for Hunter.
Yes,
I mean, I don't think anyone outside of Hunter probably thought that Hunter was going to win that match. Now, it's great to have the opportunity. As an arm wrestler, you want to go against the best to see where you're at. But I reffed that match, and even at the table, with the in between that I see reffing a match that doesn't come across to the camera, that the crowd doesn't even see. I see so much more there. Hunter was not a dial mover, and he wasn't his normal self in that match. After the first go, when he realized how outmatched he was, he kind of shut down. Does that hurt him moving forward in your mind? Is it just an opportunity for him to learn? Because I think that's something that that guys worry about is I put out the bravado, I put out the ego. Yes, I'm going to do this, and I get my ass handed to me. Do I look like a schmuck? Did I set myself backwards? And I think in this particular area, as many areas, but I think you're the premier expert in this area.
I think I'm up there in terms of understanding match and styles make matches. I think Engin is also up there. And I think there's probably a couple of other guys out there that are... A lot of it is around... Everybody talks about styles make matches, right? And it's one of those things that, like, people say it, but not necessarily think about it a great deal. For example, if you put Matt Mask into a certain set of matches, he will outperform and punch higher than a lot of people might think he's capable of doing against a certain criteria, a certain type of arm wrestler. Now, with Hunter, I think there was a belief that he may have been better than he is because of the fact that he's talked, got in there. He's a very confident man, and he performed very well. So you back it up. So yeah, you think, okay, we'll level this guy up, and Hunter won't shy away from anything. He'll
Right.
pull the devil in straps, doesn't care. So you throw him in there, and I think stylistically for that type of arm wrestler, Mindaugas is a horrible, horrible matchup. He is incredibly good at denying you any kind of position in the match. So very early, he dismantled Hunter. His frame is bigger than Hunter. I'm talking about body weight. I'm talking about the frame. So it is bad for Hunter, but in reality, Hunter's career is young enough for it not to be. If I was Hunter, I'd lean into that result. In terms of I'd go out there and I'd say, dude, I just got murdered. I didn't know that that kind of thing existed. I didn't know that there was a guy. Because I'll tell you now, he didn't.
Right.
Hunter never saw that coming. Hunter was at the sign. I really like Hunter. I'm a massive fan of that kid. I think he's iron. I think he's very pure. There's no bullshit. When he says, I'm here to fight, he is. When he says there's no backward step, he means it. He'd go in there. He's in. 100% in. You can't ask any more of a guy than that. He did not know what he was in with.
Agreed.
He's never met a guy like that before because there aren't many. And he was at the signing room, and I said, "You got an incredible opportunity here, but that's a very, very hard match for you." And he said, "Yeah, we'll see." And you could see he was very confident. And in my mind, I was thinking, "Poor bastard." Honestly,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know.
he's going to get destroyed, and he doesn't know. And when I was speaking to people, I was saying, "Yeah, Hunter's going to get murdered." When I've spoken about Mindaugas and how good he is, people think I'm joking. There are levels, and he's right at that top level. When
Well,
you're
and the
Daniel,
thing that makes Mindaugas hard too, for those that haven't really been around him or touched his hand, been on a table with him, he's a very unassuming arm wrestler.
oh yeah,
He fits into that same realm. I think it's like Corey Miller. Corey Miller, for a lot of his career, was overlooked because he's very unassuming looking,
Mhm.
and really thought that all he had was speed. Um, until guys that have a lot more than just speed tie into him and go, okay, I guess there's a lot more here than meets the eye. And then there's so much to Mindaugas, it's insane.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was talking to some lads over. We're talking about Mindaugas, and they said, "So you're saying that there's no one in North America in or around that weight that could beat Mindaugas?" And I said, "I'm categorically saying that. Yes, I'm saying that there is not a human drawing breath on that side of the Atlantic that can touch him." And I mean,
So, question, because there's one arm wrestler that could get down to at least 180
mm-hmm.
to pull Mindaugas.
Go on.
Craig Tullier.
Now that's different because Craig is a bigger man. So,
But he forces himself to be bigger. That's why I say
if he
if
comes
Craig
down
eased up on
to that
eating
weight,
for right.
I think he loses the match. But I think it's a very interesting match. I've still got Mindaugas.
Too versatile.
Yeah, I think he just wins the match. I think but if you were talking about mate, it's exactly what we were talking about a minute ago with Samusha Paul Lynn. You say, okay, Paul, and there's no bigger Paul Lynn fan than me. Love the dude. But when we were out there and Robert said, okay, so your guy, the White Oak, gets another shot at Samusha, title shot. I said, no way, can't, no way. 85 kilos, Paul, no way. That's not Paul. You know what I mean? And for
Yep.
me, now, it's not Craig. If Craig comes, you got to remember, Mender's a world champion at 154.
Right.
That's the, we're talking about guys letting themselves get bigger, making themselves bigger. Mender's is that guy. 154 world champion. Daniel Prokopchuk, 154. Cherkasov, 154. These guys can go to 65s, can go big, but they're inflating themselves to go there.
Right.
You know, they can cut down to that weight also. So a 154 Mendegas is still rock strong, killer strong, world class. What I'm saying is, do I believe that there is another world class puller at that on that side of the Atlantic who is a native North American? No. No, there is not. Not in his league.
No,
There is
I
no
agree.
do anything with Mendegas Tarasaitis. There simply isn't. It's not a slight on North America. It's just there isn't. If you said, is there you know, a lad who's higher that has a good matches, middleweight, you go up a couple of categories. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. So Craig Touye, as he is now, I've actually pursued that match. I've spoken to Craig and Mendegas about that match. Touye at the weight he is now versus Mendegas at that 165 range. Now that's a match, mate.
Yeah, it is.
That's a
But
match.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, I fully understand you're not picking on North America because really, you go anywhere in the world and there's only a very small handful of people that can go toe to toe with Mindy right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he's one of the chosen few, mate.
Yeah.
And there are others. There are guys now. Paul Lynn, David Samusha at Paul Lynn now. He comes in weighing 95 kilos, just shy of. Then that's a match. And for me personally, as a purist arm wrestler, and I think for most people, if they're honest with themselves, you're more bothered about seeing a banging match. I mean, weight's awesome. If you're going for a title, get it. But also sometimes you just want to see a friggin' awesome match.
Right.
And wherever that match is made best, I kind of like that. I mean, how many times did we see the Storm pull some friggin' super when he was weighing just shy of 220 or thereabouts? And it didn't matter. Nobody gave it. Nobody's like, oh, yeah, but John only weighed 220. Nobody cared. Nobody, and John certainly didn't care.
Right.
All we were concerned about is, oh, what a match. It never really bothered you that John was giving away 50 pounds in weight. Never even entered your head because it was right there.
If both pullers agree to pull each other and they're not the same weight and they're okay with it, nobody else should care.
Mate, well, it's kind of like when you step up weight classes, isn't it? Because like back in the day, you go up through the weight categories. I go over weighing 187 pounds. Didn't really care too much about what weight the guy was you were arm wrestling. Because when you're at that time in your career and you're confident, it's almost like you're in a fight, you're in a street fight. You don't stop just before and go, oh, wait a minute, what do you weigh?
Right.
It doesn't happen. If it's on, it's on. You know what I mean? So if you're good enough, if you're at that level, weight categories matter. Size matters. It simply does. But levels also matter. And somewhere in the middle, there's that meeting point. And I think,
Right.
Engin's done a great job of this one. For Paul Lynn to be where Paul Lynn's at, and Samusha to be obviously lighter, but it's a friggin' awesome match. Way better match than if Paul Lynn has to artificially cut himself down to, for
But
me, way better.
I even got to still think that it favors Samusha.
Is it what? You mean he'd start as favourite? Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he will start as favourite, But I wouldn't be surprised. If Paul was to win that match, it wouldn't be like the fact that he's bigger and then everybody will say, oh, yeah, Paul, that little bit bigger. But there's no excuses from either guy here, but doubt if you know what's going in there. And Paul can hold his head up and be very proud if he wins that match Because I'll tell you what, Samusha, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Criminal strong. Stupid strong, you know? Now, if you look through the categories and you look at the guys now in North America, one of the things I think North America, I think the UK, I think probably 90% of the world doesn't do great, is train elites together. If I'm honest, I don't think
Our
that happens a lot.
our challenge is, I mean, our country's huge.
Massive.
I mean, we've got states that are the size of a lot of your countries in Europe. So,
Yeah.
just making that
My
happen.
country's
But
chicken
but
leg.
again, you can overcome that if you want to, right? So there's a potential match for me this coming fall at Bob Brown's tournament, the Brezink Cup.
Right.
That if that, and I'll talk to you about it offline because I'm definitely going to be wanting to pick your brain on this. But if that comes together, I've already reached out to Craig Toulier and said, "Hey, I'm going to be flying down Louisiana for a long weekend to be training with you to get ready for this."
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, you can overcome distance certainly if you've got the time and the resources, but it's also not going to be 6 months of training weekly with Craig.
No.
It's going to be that, or you get back over to work with Brian. I'm going to be there, and we're going to be
Yeah,
working
that's the
and
thing,
things
isn't it?
like
I'm
that.
very
But
familiar with that challenge now because of the Brian thing.
yep,
Because he's in Colorado, and if somebody said, "Oh, okay, well, Brian lived, half an hour down the road," and oh my God, I'll guarantee you in 18 months I'll make you a killer.
right.
There are limitations. But from a North American perspective, from a German perspective, from a UK perspective, and many, many more countries, those are things that I'd like to address. I'm certainly going to try to address it with the UK. I'll try to get guys together, elite guys, and train them on some different stuff and try and make a team of absolute freaks. Of course, that'd be great. So anybody from the UK that's listening, yeah, I'm up for doing that. That's one thing I'm going to do. But I think a lot of countries should approach it the same way. The Georgians probably doing it best right now because of the
Right.
position that they're located in. But
I think the Bulgarians do a very good job of it as well, from what I
yeah,
understand.
small place, and they're obviously the nucleus around a couple of the clubs there. You've got some amazing pullers around, and it's a shame there's political issues in some of those countries as well, and you don't see all the guys come together. It's always going to be a problem. But the level, nevertheless, is ridiculous across some of those guys. Absolutely stupid, you know. And
Yeah.
I don't care what country it is. If you're talking Australia, if you're talking, Czechia, I don't care. Wherever it is, if you have the wherewithal to be able to get the guys together and you've got a certain nucleus of technical understanding and prowess there, you can make some killers because iron sharpens iron.
Right.
It really does. And there's so much evidence of that out there, Luke,
Oh,
Stupid.
for sure.
So that's one of the things that I think a lot of people need to, or a lot of countries need to pay a great deal of attention to. For everybody in the chat, we're not going to stay here on here for much longer. I'm going to try and catch up with Engen. I'm going to try and catch up with Devon over this next couple of weeks also, and a couple of the other stars of the forthcoming King of the Table 14 as well, because that card is absolutely sick. If you haven't caught the card yet, check out East versus West channel. Get over there and look at some of the matches that are being published because they're coming out on a pretty daily basis. And let me tell you now, it is absolutely ridiculous. Some of those matches are off the scale. They're absolutely nuts. And they keep on coming. I mean, we always talk about which match should be the main event, and opinions vary. Uh, I am, and I've always been a purist. But if you look at some of the you look at some of the matches on those cards, I think there's a very, very good argument for a number of them about being which should be the main event there. Personally, the lightweight match on there is immoral. Will it be main event? Will we ever see a day when the lightweights are gonna get that kind of love? I don't know. I think we're quite a way off it, Luke. What do you think? Do you think we'll see that soon where lightweight's the top of the bill?
Not soon.
Hard one, isn't it? Yeah, it's a hard one because if it hadn't have been for Conor McGregor in the UFC, do you think we would have seen a situation where that happened there?
No. Certainly not as fast as it happened.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It's always an interesting case point, isn't it? You looking at the matches on there at the moment. Let's have a bit of a run through. We got the big talking points, obviously going to be around Mike and Vitali. Unbelievable match. A lot of people, I'm sure, believe that Vitali is a heavy favourite in there, but we know about the X factor that Michael brings. That makes that very interesting. Underneath that, you've got Hutchins, Rustam Babayev. World title match. The ever improving Todd Hutchins against a guy he's got a poor record against.
Really poor.
So
like never beaten poor.
Very, very interesting set of criteria going into that one because we've also recently seen Todd do a little bit better. Again, Prudnik being the biggest example of that against guys that he'd never done well against before. Carolyn Looms, thanks for your super chat, mate. Love to see Bogdan Stoica at East versus West, mate. Bogdan Stoica is a signature Arm Wars arm wrestler. I cannot say enough good about Bogdan. I think he's mega. One of my favourite arm wrestlers in the world. Love the kid. He's mega. Absolutely mega. Then let's talk about the ladies. Eglavit Kute. Absolute weapon. Established one of the greats of all time. And Jocelyn, Nathan's terrifying prospect. And she is terrifying because personally, as Nathan would tell you, because I've spent a lot of time talking to him about Jocelyn, I think she's warming up. I don't think she's
very impressive.
Close to the finished article yet. Warming up. I mean, I can see a lot of holes in her game right now, but is she strong? Is she? I mean, clearly an athlete, moves great. Where the hell she can end up, God knows. But I'll tell you what, when she really gets into running, Jesus Christ, she's gonna take some beating. Let me tell you, absolute weapon, Jocelyn Brisson. So, yeah, genuinely interesting match there. Then, and here we go. For Engin pulling this one out of his ass. What a match this is! You've got Gary Quickvinia at 115 for the vacant title because Reno's injury, pulling against Ibrahim Sagov. Holy shit. I mean, what a match that is.
That's awesome.
That's a match, that is. So now you're starting to get into that, well, is the main event the main event? It's one of them, isn't it? You know what I mean? Makarov Daniel, I've said enough.
Amazing.
For me, simply peaks at that level. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous level matchup. You've got Matyushenko and Sergei Kalinachenko. Kalinachenko looking impressive in his last outing. Asked for a killer. Asked for a big name. Asked for somebody who's mega. Well, my God, he's got it. Because Matyushenko is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Then you've got Mask and Nugo. Unbelievable. That's probably one of the most exciting matches on paper you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
Because Nugo Shikadze is one of those guys that's just got something about him. Who doesn't love him?
Yep.
Have you pulled it all with Nugo?
I never have. No, I've never actually met him.
Dude, that guy is friggin' iron. Absolutely iron. And Matt Mask at the moment in that class, looking stupid. Then you've got Kamil Jablonski, Zeranov. Oh, God. Talk about splintered joints. Dear me. And I did see also that you've now got Georgi Svetkov, Acid G. And he's going to be pulling lefty, I believe, with Derek Yan.
Oh, wow.
I think it's lefty. Let me double check that I'm not talking rubbish. But I do think it is lefty. See if that is in fact the case. Is it left? Yes, it is left. Which is another absolute banger. So, yep. King of the Table 14, right around the corner, early May, May 10th. Crazy level. And I would love for you guys in the chat, let us know of the matches that I spoke about there, and there's more coming. Let me know what you guys think are your top 3 matches on that card. What's the main event? What's your main event on that, Luke, as a purist?
It's Prokopchuk.
Yeah, you've got Prokopchuk and Arthur.
Yeah, I mean, I love both the way they both pull. Obviously, it's just that's going to be an absolute match. I think that's just going to be something to see. But I mean, they're all phenomenal matches, and you're talking about knowing more than just the athlete side of things, and you bring up Daniel, and Daniel's very difficult to talk to because I don't know if he speaks any English really, but he's just recently started to do an interesting thing on Instagram with videos, getting to know him better. Not just the arm wrestling side of him, knowing him better, but he'll show a video of him doing something in a match.
Yeah.
And then it is, if you want to do this. And he shows you his training.
Oh, a little bit like Alajan's kind of thing.
Yes. Yep. Very similar. Very similar.
Where he goes the old.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Now, Alajan puts a little bit more show to it than Daniel's doing. But at least you're starting to get a glimpse into Daniel a little bit, which is really cool, because most people don't know that little monster of a powerhouse is an orthopedic surgeon.
Dude is a absolute brain box and strong as Popeye's pig.
Yep. And then you look at the complete opposite size dynamic in Georgi Svetkov, and Georgi runs a ski shop.
Yeah.
Like, who would picture that monster putting skis on people and sending them down a mountain? Now, I can picture Georgie throwing people off a mountain, but not putting them on skis.
Yeah. And George,
that's the things we need to get known.
Most humble, lovely lads. You can imagine. He's a lovely dude.
Oh, he's awesome. I love Georgie.
Love him. Acid G's awesome. So many great characters, and it's just exposing them. But as I say, guys, we're going to jump off here in just a moment, but I wanted to just check in with you guys tonight. I hope everybody's enjoyed the fix. Sorry, I had a little hiatus there. I've had a load of stuff going on. A lot of events going on. We had Europe's Strongest Man. I got fights. We got all sorts going down. So I've been back to back with work. And obviously, because I'm a professional presenter, most of my work's at weekends. So when I'm not here, I'm not here. But I'm back for a little while. So we will be back with a fix 211 next week. I want to say a massive thank you to my man, Luke Pulsher, for joining us on the show. Always awesome to have Luke on here. One of the guys in the sport. Absolute great lad. And yeah, really, really good to catch up with you, Luke. Really good. Now, you've obviously you've got a bit of stuff going on social media now, yeah? You're doing a little bit.
I'm trying. Instagram is... I'm just really easy to find because I'm the only Luke Pulsher on the planet.
So plug away, mate. Just give yourself a little plug. Where
just Luke Pulsher on Facebook, and if you look Luke Pulsher on Instagram, you'll find me. But my actual handle is armpower_.
So get on there and give Luke some love, guys. Rolly Ray, give him some love also. Voice of Arm Wrestling and the Odyssey. Remember, just to let you know, massive stuff coming up on the Arm Wars channel, particularly for our members. A huge amount of stuff. James is releasing it on pretty much a weekly basis now. If you didn't see the Mika Sakwaralidze film for our members, get on there and check that out. Mini doc on there. Loads of stuff coming out. We got a big one coming on Engin Terzi, where you're going to see more about Engin, and many, many more coming down the tracks. We've got the stuff when we went out to Vegas. We got the stuff when we traveled through California. Some stuff on Derek Smith and the Alpha Empire when we went over there. So a lot coming for our members in this next few weeks, and some news about the Titan House. Titan House 2 is coming in June. It will involve Eddie Hall in a full training camp. Brian Shaw will be there in a full training camp. The Jim Reaper, Josh Baker, will be there in a training camp with us as well. Not to mention our usuals, Lawrence Shockley, who is picking up pace. Bobby Frampton, who is picking up pace. Rebecca Roberts, Katie Smith, Laura Baxter, Donna Moore, and more, and more. We know, obviously for people who watch one, Mark Felix, we are creating some monsters. Many, many more to come. In-depth stuff going on with the Titan House 2. That will be in June. May is going to be stacked, and the end of April also. So if you're not a member, be a good time for you to get joined up, guys. We will be back middle of this week. I'll be catching up with, as I say, probably Engin, probably Dev, and some other guys who are on the card at King of the Table 14. We're going to be telling you a little bit more about what's coming on the Titan House. That will be going with either an Iron House or a Dark card at the exact same time. So tons of stuff coming down the pipe. King of the Table, May 10th. Keep your eyes open, guys, on this channel. We will have some stuff this week. Luke, thank you for checking in, mate.
Always appreciate the invite.
No worries, mate. And while you're here, everyone on the chat, if you haven't subbed, please give us a sub, give us a like, give us a share. Small thing, but it helps out a massive amount. And until we see you next time, take it easy, peeps.